le ciel bleu vole en silence.
Shield your eyes, ladies. Shield your eyes and clutch your pearls, because these are some of the most abysmal fall fashion finds that are being marketed at women over 50. So welcome if you're new here. My name is Netta. I'm a personal stylist. My whole focus is to help you look and feel your best, your most beautiful, your most fashionable over 50. So if you're new here, I have lots and lots of stuff going on, including my fall masterclass series. It takes place roughly every other week. So the next one I believe that will be coming up is September 8th after this video comes out. So you'll want to sign up for that, because we're really breaking down kind of the science and the secrets behind effortless everyday outfits. Okay, so let's get started, because I was really thinking, that brands had taken a turn for the better, that they were watching my videos, that they were like taking some of our feedback about, the fact that we don't want clothes that are marketed just at women over 50 that just don't exist anywhere else in the fashion sphere, right? Like, these are clothes that are specifically marketed at us. They are not, and they're in their own bubble that sits outside of anything relevant that's happening in style. Like any kind of trend, and I'm not just talking about trend like micro trends. I'm talking about like larger themes in fashion. Like, these clothes occupy their own universe, and it's not one that I want to live on. So, and honestly, many of these brands have a ton of cute stuff, but the danger is that there's also a lot of really, really not cute stuff mixed in. And so, my suggestion always when we're shopping over 50 brands, and you know what these brands are, I'm going to be mentioning them in today's video, is to stick with the simple and the classic pieces from those brands, like the button-down shirts, the solid sweaters, etc. Anytime they start adding stuff to it, pattern, detail, interesting shape, texture, all of those details take you farther and farther away from what is currently happening in style and what is going to look modern and fresh and relevant. Okay, so rant over, sort of. There's gonna be a lot more rants in this video, but let's get started with the first thing that you should not be buying from brands over 50, pretty much, or from pretty much anywhere. Okay. The first thing I'm going to talk about is pull-on jeans and pants. Now, there are some great pull-on jeans and pants out there. These are not them. So the idea with a pull-on jean, like Frame had their Jet Set denim, which I think they're discontinuing, which is tragic. Spanx has it. We're also seeing that high-waist jeans, like they're kind of like a hybrid between a sweatpant and a jean. And some of them can look really cool, but they do not look like these. First of all, they look like they're real jeans at the top and not like they're leggings. These look like leggings made out of denim. They are essentially jeggings, regardless of the shape. So that's the first red flag. The second red flag is the waistband. Again, it doesn't have those button details. The waistband is very wide and very prominent, and these are often paired with tops that are tucked in or shorter so that you see the waistband. There's just so much wrong with these. I'm gonna pop up a couple, and these are from our favorite brands. Here we go. It's Alfred Dunner, where literally every single thing on the Alfred Dunner site, I was like, when I was creating this video, I was like, and that's a bad one, and that's a bad one, and that's a bad one, and that's a bad one. They were all really bad. I finally had to stop just saving, because I think I have 70 pictures of just Alfred Dunner stuff. So these are horrible. These from Chico's, which I like the nod to the dark denim thing that's happening for fall, but not anything else about these. These are a skinny jean with a stretch waist. Chico's is a but wait, there's more store. That's their biggest downfall, is that sometimes they don't just leave well enough alone. Not that these jeans would have been well enough anyway, because look at the waistband. But then they had to add the trim at the hem. Of course, these are also from Chico's. These are also pull-on jeans, I believe. And these have the embroidery embellishments and stuff on the side. We're going to see embellished jeans come back. They do not look like this. They do not look like this. These pants in this weird print, also a pull-on style. Also, like, I mean, if these were black, this could have been a decent, like, cigarette pant, but no. They had to do the whole weird print on a borderline, like, stretchy waistband kind of thing. I think the ones that really got me and that kind of set me off were these, though, from Talbot's. These are tie waist. I just don't know how to describe these. Tie waist corduroy jogger things. These are horrible. First of all, I love a good corduroy, and they're absolutely having a moment for fall. But corduroys are a thicker, more substantial fabric, and so you kind of have to be careful if you've got a little tummy area going on. You want to make sure that it fits well and it's not adding a lot of bulk there because the fabric is a little thicker. Here they did they went in the opposite direction of my advice, and they were like, here, let's add as much bulk as possible around the waistline with this corduroy. It's just weird and awkward. These were never meant to be together. Like, there was never a tie waist corduroy thing that was ever supposed to be together. Talbot's, look at the waistband on these jeans. This is what I'm talking about. Look how wide that is, and she's got a top tucked in. You know, I like the top tucked in, but this waistband is horrible. So if you like this type of jean, I would say, first of all, approach with caution. You want it to be as simple and the wash to be as clean as possible, but you want to cover that waistband. That would have alleviated a lot of my angst. Would have been alleviated if this waistband had been covered. And then these pull-on pants from Alfred Dunner that have a stretchy waistband all the way around. Again, I don't mind some pull-on pants. They need to look flat from the front for a pull-on dress pant, and then pull-on jeans, you just don't want to see the waistband at all. Like, that's just not a thing. And then, because they were literally trying to kill me, Christopher and Banks, they decided, let's just save some money on the rest of the fabric and cut the bottom off. So not only are they pull-on jeans, they're pull-on skinny jeans, or at least like close to skinny jeans, and they're short. They're capris. These are so bad. I feel like they didn't even make an attempt at styling at Christopher and Banks. Like, they just didn't even make an attempt at styling. These were all shot in someone's like kitchen with an iPhone. I was blown away by that. Okay. The next rant over, you know my feelings now about pull-on pants. Approach with caution. I have plenty of them with the pull-on elastic waist linen pants for, these are different. So if you want a pull-on regular pant, you want a flat waistband in the front. If you want pull-on denim, approach with caution. Buy them from a brand like Rag & Bone or Frame or Madewell or whatever, and don't show the waistband. Okay. Next thing that I saw, and I think this is an Alfred Dunner exclusive. If you want to layer badly without actually layering, look at these Two-Fers. I think that's what they call them. Like, it looks like two pieces, but it's really one piece. These are so bad. So these are like shells with drapey cardigan situations, and oh my gosh. So the idea, and this is what's been driving me crazy about layers for mature women. Layers for mature women are made to like just cover the tummy. Layers are supposed to add something to an outfit. They're supposed to add style or structure to an outfit. These do neither. And it's the drapiness and the loosey-goosiness of these layers that just drives me nuts. These are very, very out of style. And then, the tops that they're on are out of style. Okay, first of all, you know how I feel about a dated print and then a solid piece that matches a color from the dated print. So this shell and cardigan and this periwinkle, lovely color, but this shell and cardigan, the shell has a pattern and the cardigan is pulling a color from that pattern, and it's just it's just a mistake. It's just a mistake. I'm sure they probably just didn't see this before they sent it into stores. And then this next thing where they've got the shell and the cardigan, but they're attached. Why is this a good idea? I don't understand why this is a good idea. Because you have a look of layers, but you don't have the versatility of layers, and you definitely don't have style. And then this weird print, I'm coming for this print. I do not like it. These are just again, they're clearly a mistake, and I'm not here for it. I don't understand why is it so hard to just put on an additional layer? I just don't think that's really something that's going to be a problem for us. I don't like it. And then finally, this again, a drapey cardigan, which does nothing for an outfit. It does not add structure. It does not add style and over a printed shell. So just know. Let's just buy our jackets and our shells separately, or tops separately. Okay, this is a Chico's exclusive, and it's the Chiffon Poncho. Okay. Some of these are better than others. If you're just doing like a flowy sleeve, you're not really doing a poncho. But the ones that have like the hem and then the big sleeves, and you know something, people will see you coming and going. So that's the bonus. People will see you from a mile away. And you know, if what you're trying to do is to look more imposing, aka bigger at the top, then you know these can help. Also, they will also make you bigger in the middle and bigger at the hip area. So you know, if that's a goal, I want to say that these might work on somebody who has a curvy lower body, but they don't, because they end at the hip area and the bum area, and they're just not good. And I know that ponchos are coming back. They don't look like these. First of all, these prints are just, you know, they're just a problem. And also, I just feel like we should do a poncho like look with a scarf, where we like throw the scarf around and we can adjust it and tweak it and make it look more flattering on us, because these are models and they don't look good in them. So I'm just not even gonna try. I'm not even gonna try this. I just think this is something I should just be skipping entirely. Okay, so no ponchos as far as I'm concerned. Definitely no ponchos from Chico's. Like if we're gonna do a poncho, it needs to be really modern, and ideally need to be tall and slim and of limited bust size. If you have a full bust, a belly, full hips, full anything, truly, these are not your friend. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is the printed jersey dresses. I love a good knit dress. I love a good jersey dress. We have to be careful with printed jersey dresses, because the prints and the jersey combination can sometimes look very mature and just dated. So these dresses are just circa 2010. I haven't seen this type of dress outside of these types of stores in a long time. These are, you know, every brand had these. So J. Jill has this one that's a paisley print jersey dress. Chico's has this one with a border print at the bottom. Chico's has this other one that's like a big floral. This one is from Talbot's with, you know, it's a kind of a classic sheath style with a print on it. So these prints are killing it. And then the silhouettes are not really modern. So you have to have at least something updated, right? So the dress styles are, so in some cases, the dress styles are either just classic, like borderline right in the middle, or they're already on the dated side. And then the prints are either borderline or they're dated. Something has to be modern. Like one of these in like, you might not like the wide stripe, but one of these in a wide stripe would be a lot better. If they were in a solid, they would be a lot better. If they were in a really modern print, they would be a lot better. But the combination of borderline style, borderline silhouette, and borderline print, and in some cases bad silhouette, bad print, is a bad combination. Okay, and again, I love a good knit dress. I love things that we don't have to iron. I love the comfort. I love the ease. These are not them. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is what I'm just going to call, I'm grouping these together. I'm calling them random layers. Random layers. These are dated layers, dated jackets, dated cardigans, dated thingies. The first, this is from Christopher & Banks. It's the round hem cardigan. It's the round hem cardigan. Like it goes, you know, this is not a good idea. I don't understand why they're doing this, because I feel like what this does is it really does highlight the hip and tummy area. It's not flattering, but most of all, it's just really, really out of style. It's really out of style. This hasn't been in style for a long time. Also, so that one was from Christopher & Banks. Also from Christopher & Banks, you know, I'm obsessed with leopard print, but this is like leopard print in only certain areas on the front of this jacket. It's going to be a but wait there's more jacket for me, because you could have just made the whole thing leopard print, or you could have just made the whole thing black, but instead they decided to do their version of a statement jacket. And I would say always approach with caution when you see a statement jacket coming from one of these brands. You need to like turn around and run in the other direction, because these statements are always going to be dated or like before they even come out, and this is not a good statement jacket. It's horrible. And again, the styling, like they shot this in someone's kitchen. Someone's just sitting there on their kitchen chair taking this picture. I don't know, like the lighting is bad, everything's bad. Okay, speaking about but wait there's more, our favorite but wait there's more brand, Chico's. Like, let's look at this jacket. There's so much going on in this jacket. Is it ombre and patterned and metallic and statement shape? Yes, it's all of the above. It's all of the above. It's got so much going on that it is like the eye doesn't know where to look. The eye doesn't know where to look. There's just a lot going on with that jacket, and the model is beautiful. The model is beautiful. Of course she is. She's a model. She's styled beautifully, actually. Like her hair, her makeup, even the colors are perfect on her. The shirt underneath it is nice. But this jacket has so much going on that you literally just need to wear it like naked or something so that it doesn't interfere with the rest of your outfit. I don't know. There's just no good way to wear that. And then we're going to have like the drapey cardigan thingy. There are 3 of them here. They're just drapey cardigans. Again, the point of a layer is to add style or to add structure, and these do neither. They don't elevate your outfits because they're baggy and saggy and sad. They don't elevate your outfits, and instead they look dated and they're instant. They do the opposite. They're instant agers, they're instant daters, you know what I mean? These are just not good layers, and we see them everywhere. No, we do not want flimsy layers. We don't want flimsy wraps. We don't want flimsy cardigans. And I was talking recently in my Ageless Style program group about these layering pieces and the difference between a good waterfall cardigan and a bad waterfall cardigan. First of all, there's no such thing as a great waterfall cardigan, but the layers that are in these borderline silhouettes that are going to look a lot more modern and a lot more relevant are the ones in structured materials, like suede, that is structured, like that has shape to it, or tweed that has shape to it, not in a flowy material. As soon as the flowy material is on these types of pieces, the style goes out of them. Okay, and then finally the last thing is this, again from our, but wait, there's more brand Chico's. There's this jacket with lots and lots of rosettes on it. I want to like this. I just feel like there's always something a little bit off, and this is just really boxy. I feel like this would have to be styled very, very well. Some people are going to be able to pull this off. Most of us are not. Okay, I'm going to move on to my favorite category. I talked about this so many times. It's the printed tee. Now we're seeing striped tees are always going to be relevant, and graphic tees are going to come in and out, but are always pretty much going to be relevant, like a tee with like a band name on it or whatever. These are not that. These are tees with usually a floral print, maybe a paisley print, maybe a botanical print, but whatever. They're always like that filmy, like thin, drapey jersey material. They're just never a good idea. And every brand has them here. We have them from Christopher and Banks. We have them from J. Jill, like they won the printed tee award. They were like, look at how many options we have in printed tees for you. We've got every sleeve length, from short sleeve to cap sleeve to diamond sleeve to 3/4 sleeve to long sleeve, all in abysmal prints. So they just really were like letting their print guy go to town on every basic that they could have possibly had, and he just slapped a print on it. These are just so bad. You just do not see these at contemporary brands. Often these have the curved hem, not always, but often they have the curved hem, and there's always, maybe they're tunic length just as a bonus. Maybe they have a cap sleeve just to make your arms look a little extra, accentuated. These are just bad. So no printed jersey tees for us. Let's just walk away from the printed, the printed tees with the all over floral, paisley, like all the different types of things. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is weird tops with dated details. I don't know how else to put this, but these are weird tops with dated details. So all of these tops have something on them that just kind of makes them like things that make you go, on these tops. So the first is this weird hemline, this double hem. I think this is a Christopher and Banks top. Look at this hem. This is a dated detail, and it's an awful, just out of style top. If you have a top like this in your wardrobe, just tuck it in, and then you won't see that, and the top of it is not bad, but the hem is where a lot of times where they go wrong. Except for this one. This is also from Christopher and Banks, and it's like an empire style. It's got that band here, but oh my gosh, this is such a bad top. This is really, really unflattering. It's really unflattering even on the model. It just does not look good. I don't like it at all. at all. It's very out of style. It's just very out of style. The pattern and the cut and the fabric, the combination is a trifecta of terror for me. This next one, what is up with the pattern going like this? This pattern it makes you look like your boobs are droopy. It makes you, and you know something, some of us are already struggling with that. We don't need that pattern where it's diagonal across the top of the boob right there rather than going this way. That's a very weird pattern placement, and it's completely throwing me off and also hurting my eyes. The shell with the boring pattern and then the border print, we see these everywhere. Boring, nothing pattern. I call these prints nothing prints. And then they've got a border print at the bottom. Really? Really? Also, long ago when I was, in the height of my cuteness, I bought a top with like a band at the bottom where the band was tighter around the hips. Keep in mind, I'm not a hippie person. I have very little shape in that part of my body. And it made me look like uber curvy and like I had much bigger hips than I did. Nobody needs a band at the bottom. It's either going to be around your tummy, make your tummy look bigger. It's going to be around your hips, make your hips look bigger, but not in a good way. Not in the way that I wanted. And then this other top with a weird hem, like they're trying to be trendy. Christopher and Banks. We're seeing a little bit of the asymmetric hem with a little cutout thing happening in contemporary brands. It does not look at all like this. It's like they didn't get the memo. It's just not good. It's not good. So these are all tops with like dated details. I just kind of clumped them together. The next thing I want to talk about is Muu Muus. You know how I love a good caftan, and I'm about 10 years away from only being in a caftan for the rest of my life, but my caftans are glamorous. I feel like, like I'm channeling Mrs. Roper with my caftans, not a nightgown. And these are nightgowns. Look at these. Most of these are courtesy of J. Jill, which I've always thought of as the store that you go to when you want to wear a muumuu, when you want something completely shapeless and completely unflattering. Like growing up and really until very recently, I thought of J. Jill as the home of linen tents. These are not linen, but they are tents. And these are like flowy jersey dresses with absolutely no shape, no structure, no style. These are otherwise known as nightgowns, but they're not labeling them as nightgowns. And what's interesting is when I was flipping through, I was like, oh, that's really bad. That must be a sleep dress, because some of them they called sleep dresses on some of the sites. But these are not sleep dresses. These are designed for you to wear out of the house. I feel like at best, these could be a house dress. Like if you're like, okay, this is better than sweats. Is it better than sweats? Maybe. Verdict is still out. These are so shapeless and so bad. And then this one here where this lovely woman is leaning against the tree. This is a nightgown. I kept searching just to make sure I wasn't wrong. No, they call it a dress. This is a nightgown. It's a nightgown. It's a nightgown. I don't know how to break it to them. These all should be nightgowns. But my nightgowns are cuter, and yours should be too. These are not good nightgowns. They're bad nightgowns. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is pattern placement. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you know how I feel about the border prints. You know how I feel about that print at the top here where it made her boobs look droopy. They do placed prints a lot. So print in just one spot and not in another, which can sometimes look like an elevated detail and other times be very dated. And in this case, like the print just at the hem of this is just not a great idea. Another weird pattern placement is these flowers like just at the bottom of the top. And then this black and white kind of dated print with a border print at the bottom. You know how I feel about border prints in general. They will probably come back. But the thing is, even when these brands do something that is adjacent to a current trend, they don't look like the ones that are out there. So this, why ruin a striped top with a little smattering of flowers there? You know, I love a flower. You know, I have feminine style. This is not what I'm talking about. And then these weird, okay, Talbots, weird paisley tops with the hem in like a bigger paisley. Again, it's like that border print. It's just that's not a good look. And, you know, they have it in red and in blue. So you get two choices of bad tops, and I don't like it at all. Okay, and you know, I can't finish one of these videos without talking about the proliferation of tunics. We have the two types of tunics that I have been ranting and raving about for, it feels like 1,000 years. But maybe these tunics are just aging me just to look at them. The first is, you know, the crotch framing tunic. There's no nice way to put this. This is a tunic that just, it has a cutout right over your lady area, your crotch area. There's just like, so these have why? They're so weird. They're so weird. They're so weird. And we don't see this anywhere, again, but the over 50 market. And I know that they think that tunics are going to minimize a tummy and hips, and they can, but these are just out of style. Like, why not pick a cute, like, tucker neck style tunic? These are not anyone's friend. They are flimsy, which means they're going to cling to everything. And then they've got this cutout, which is like, look at me, to the crotch area. So that's the first horrific one. The second type of tunic, you know, is the crotch pointing tunic. So this has the opposite hemline. This is like a triangle upside down, pointing at the crotchular region. Who said that? Some sitcom. Yeah, these are really, really bad. Really bad. They're just gross, and they're out of style, and they've never been in style. They're horrible. Now, also bad, but not quite as bad, are the rounded hem, the curved hem tunics. These are just also not your friend. These are also not your friend. These are not your friend. The only acceptable hemline for tops like this is a straight hem and a structured fabric, not these flimsy. So because I can't fit all 975 of the offending tunics in one video and not have it be less than, you know, 3 hours, I'm gonna do what I'm calling the walk of shame of tunics. And I'm just gonna have these tunics kind of on the screen so you can look at them and we can all ogle them together. And we're just gonna have a moment to just take in. Many of these are from my friend Alfred Dunner, where I just could not find enough. There were just so many examples, I just couldn't contain myself. I was like, I have to show all of these to you guys, all of these, because these are in stores that are aiming for us. So Alfred Dunner, Chico's, Talbot's, J. Jill, Christopher and Banks. Look at these tunics. Just give yourself a moment. Okay, we're just gonna have a moment together, like a moment of silence as we observe these tunics. Look at the prints. I'm gonna need a moment. Like, are you guys feeling this? Like I'm feeling this? You can go ahead and grab a Kleenex. I'll wait. This is just horrible. This is just horrible. There's no excuse for this kind of, what a waste of fabric and dye and shelf space or whatever. Like it is a waste. It is a waste. Okay, walk of shame for the tunics in the crazy prints that are designed to distract the eye from whatever's going on underneath. That's my only explanation to these. Comment below which of the ones that I just showed did you find the most horrifying. And I apologize if you have bad dreams following this. I know I'm going to, but you know something, I took one for the team. Had a couple of nights of like restless, like tossing and turning, but you know something, we'll get through this together. And in my coming videos, I'm going to focus on things we should buy, and maybe skip over some of these things that are just out there. They're out there. They're coming to get us. And I'm here raising the flag, telling you to stay away from them. So that's it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I love you guys so much. If you did, please give this video a like and subscribe so we can keep hanging out. And definitely check the description box for all of the fun stuff I've got going on. Love you guys. Bye.